Hey there, salespeople. Welcome back to Blackwoods Academy, Sales Tip of the Day. Today, we're going to be diving into a skill that's a necessity for any salesperson to really master. And it takes you from being good to being great. And it's the skill of negotiation. So whether you close to the deal, upselling, or managing objections, mastering the art of negotiation can take your sales team to the next level. This isn't just about getting the best deal for yourself. It's about creating that win-win scenario where both you and the prospect feel like winners. Well, why do you want to win-win? Why don't you just want to win for you? Well, because happy clients come back and they bring referrals. And like we spoke about yesterday, referrals are key to growing your business. So grab a pen because we're going to be about to unpack why negotiation is a critical skill, the psychology behind effective negotiation, practical negotiation skills, common mistakes to avoid, and how to handle tough negotiations and stay in control. So, let's just dive right in and get this show on the road. So, why negotiation matters? Well, look, I mean, it's obvious, and nobody's hearing this going, what? Like, this is crazy. But look, negotiation is the bridge between interest and commitment. It's where you transfer interest into action. But here's the thing, it's not about just getting the yes. It's about getting to yes with the trust intact. You didn't bully them into it, you didn't push them into it. It's when you negotiate effectively. You will build long-term relationships, not just transactions. Establish credibility by being fair and transparent. You create opportunities for upselling and cross-selling and referrals and much, much, much more. So looking into, like, for example, the psychology behind, negotiation. There is, for example, the power of reciprocity, like we talked about before. Humans are hardwired to be, reciprocal. When you give something of value, the people will feel like they're compelled to give back. This doesn't just mean monetary concession. It could be extra support, flexibility, exclusive access, referrals, whatever it is. There's something else called the anchoring effect. The first offer negotiation sets the tone. If your anchor is too high, it frames the conversation in a way that makes subsequent concessions feel more significant. For example, instead of starting with your absolute minimum price, start with your ideal term. And then there's, of course, loss aversion. So people are more motivated to avoid loss to an achieve gain. So frame your offers in terms of what they will lose if they don't move forward. So instead of saying you'll save $1,000, you say you could lose $1,000 in wasted expenses by not switching to our solution. That frames it as a loss and not as. They did this study, and I've talked about it before, and I just think it is a really interesting study that they asked someone to rate how happy they were. And I can't remember the scale, but let's say they rated themselves at like 6. They were okay. They gave them $100. Now they asked them like, all right, now you have 100 extra bucks out of nowhere. How does that make you feel? And they went up like 8. I feel 8. And they thought, oh, brilliant. That's great. Made him very happy. He gained $100. And then they took the $100 away from him and said, well, how do you feel now? Like, and they didn't go back to 6 where they were. They went to 4. They're like, well, I'm kind of pissed off. I just lost $100. So the loss is a lot more than just the gain. They went from 6 to 8, which is 2 points, then from 8 to 4, which is 4 points. So it's a known study. You can check it out. It's absolutely valid in this concept, and you need to have it figured out. So frame it as like we said. Don't just say, well, you'll save $1,000, but look, you can lose $1,000 in wasted time, product, whatever it is. And the next is techniques to negotiate like a pro. So prepare thoroughly. Negotiation starts long before the conversation does. So research the following: your value, their needs, and leverage points. You want to know exactly what your product and service brings to the table. You want to understand what they want and what challenges they face. And you want to identify what makes your offer unique. So use the 3 frameworks. Frame the conversation, set the tone by establishing mutual goals. I want to ensure this solution meets your needs and provides a real value. Let's work together and make it happen. Find common ground, highlight shared interests and priorities. We both want to streamline your operation and cut unnecessary costs, right? And then flexibility and concession. Be ready to give. Be sure you're getting something in, if be, but ensure you're getting something in return. I can offer you a 10% discount, but look, we need to finalize the deal by the end of the week. Something like that. So look, silence is golden. After making an offer, pause. Silence, forces the other party to process and often compels them to fill the void. But sometimes by agreeing to your terms. So, create options. Give them, rather than giving them an ultimatum, say, we can do option A with X benefit, or, we could do option B, which provides Y and Z. So, which aligns better with your priorities? Mm, on that point, don't give them too many options. That just confuses them, and it's just, confusion kills sales. So, be clear. Some common mistakes to avoid, you want to be, you want to not rush the process. Negotiation takes time. Don't be so eager to close the deal that you leave money on the table or value off the table for them. Or, over conceding, never give something away without getting something in return. Concession should be earned. Being too aggressive, push too hard, you risk losing the deal entirely. Negotiation is a collaboration effort, not a battle. But, failing to walk away. Not every deal is worth closing. So if the terms aren't mutually beneficial, it's okay to step back. Just walk away will show strength and confidence. I can't remember the person that can walk away is in a weaker position, and if the other person feels like you need it or have to have it, then it makes you just weaker, and they can smell it on you very, very easily. So let's go into what if you're in a hard negotiation. Like this is not like, just hey, I'll give you 10%, and they go, oh, perfect, I'll grab it. They start pushing or being difficult. So how do you deal with that? Well, for example, dealing with a low ball off, stay calm. Always stay calm. You don't need this. You got plenty in the pipeline. You've been following this. You should have plenty of other opportunities coming up. You don't have to rush. So stay calm. You don't panic. You just ask the question. You go, listen, I appreciate your input. Can you help me understand how you arrived at that number? And then re-anchor with your value. Look, I understand cost is important, but here's why our solution is worth the investment. You never want to go into an argument, if they say, look, it's too expensive, I can't do it. Don't go, ah, yeah, you're right, or we know we're more expensive than our competitors, whatever it is. You'd rather go into, you know what, you're right, our product is pricey, but here's the reason, you know, and it does just offer you a way to focus from the price into your value. And if they won't budge, use the what if. What if we extend the payment terms? Would that make it more feasible? Then pivot to a shared goal. Let's revisit what we both trying to achieve here and see how we can make this work. But most important, always keep the conversation focused on the value, not the price. Maintain control. Set clear boundaries. We can accommodate X, but Y is non-negotiable because it directly impacts the quality of what we deliver. Like you are in control, and you do that not by screaming and shouting and losing your temper. That's when you lose control. By staying calm, staying collected, tell them, put the frameworks up. You're in control. And the beauty of it is that most people, like I've tried to teach this to a lot of people, people think that the whole world and everything is just framed into some box. It isn't. You can do whatever you want. It's like a company that I have with my fiance. Like we were setting it up and trying to make, how we're gonna work it, and she kind of was in this frame of like, it has to be this way. And I said, why? We can make the company any way we want. We control it. We just, as long as it works and we're making money, who cares? Like we can make it and design it any way we want. So that's a very, very, very important kind of mindset to have. I make the rules. And it's in the negotiations as well. I took a negotiation class once, and so many of the people would just follow what was written on the paper. Now, what I mean by that, of course, there were set rules for the negotiation games, but what I also did is I veered off, and it was okay. It wasn't like the teacher never said we couldn't. There was one about this record company that we were negotiating with for a new record deal in this exercise, and the other people were being hardball. They were really like squeezing us on price and all that. So I just went, okay. It's said in this story that we were like a famous band that had many records, many songs, and all that kind of stuff. So I just said, look, if we can move this up a little bit, which was in our target range and theirs, so it's a win-win for them. I said, how about the back catalog? Like, can we like we want ownership of the back catalog of all of our previous records and all the music. And they accepted. They just thought, you know what, on paper we're getting what we're supposed to. It's in the frame of what was on the paper. When we got to the teacher, he said, okay, so you got your goal, like that's good. What did you guys get? And we told him, well, we got in the lower end of what we were supposed to get in the negotiation, but we got there. But I said, but I also negotiated for the back catalog and all the previous records, so we're going to release CDs on our own of the best of, or the greatest hits, and we own the music. And that was a huge score. Now they didn't quite know the music industry, and I'm no expert, but I know that's valuable. And the teacher was really impressed. So it's the same thing here. Look, it's all open. You can play around and you can make the rules. So look, some actionable steps today. Identify three key value points about your product and service. Practice framing your value in terms of the client's goal. Role play negotiations with your colleagues, like we talked about. Write down, non-negotiables, know your limits before entering any discussion. And look, to conclude, this negotiations is about dominating the conversation or squeezing out every last penny. It's about creating a solution that lets everyone feel like they won. Like they walked away feeling like they won negotiations, but really we had absolutely conquered. So that's how you build trust, close deals, and keep clients coming back. And if you found this helpful, look, hit the like button, subscribe, and share the video. And you want more personalized advice, check out my Udemy course in the channel bio, and I'm available for coaching. So go crush those deals, and I'll see you tomorrow for another sales tip. Thank you so much.